Each week we pick one development or issue which could potentially have an impact on the general elections that are now just a few months away. This week, the biggest development on the face of it undoubtedly has been the official entry of Priyanka Gandhi Vadra in Indian politics. Rahul Gandhi's sister has been given the charge as General Secretary of Eastern UP, an area with 33 Lok Sabha seats. Priyanka has in the past restricted her role to campaigning for her mother and brother, and she is also believed to have had an active role in advising her family, which has of course been at the helm of the Congress party. The jump now has led to a lot of analysis and speculation, which is why we asked today, do you think Priyanka Gandhi Vadra's entry to Indian politics officially will be a game changer, or is it more hype? To speak on this, I'm joined now by Arati Jerath, Senior Editor at Times of India. I'm also speaking with political commentator and strategist Amitabh Tiwari, and Narendra Taneja from the BJP joins us today. Welcome to all of you. By this time, I think there have been reams of opinion pieces and, articles and number crunching out there, which possibly all of you have seen. But the big question today, Arati, is Priyanka Gandhi's entry, which has been talked about for so long. Let's talk about the timing first. Just a few months before the election, is it aimed to be a shock and awe kind of strategy?
Well, I think it's more than shock and awe. I think that the Congress was waiting for the alliance in UP to firm up. And, as you know, that the Congress has been negotiating with both the SP and BSP for, a share in the alliance. But after the Congress was shut out completely, and Mayawati made it very clear that she did not want the Congress in the alliance at all because the Congress brought nothing to the table, I think the decision to induct Priyanka formally was taken after, or rather, let's say that the shutting out of the Congress from that alliance gave impetus to the decision to induct Priyanka. Now, the fact that it's come on the eve of elections, and it's something that has been awaited for a long time by many political observers, by political parties, by Congress party workers, something that has, been talked about. The Congress party workers have been, sort of shouting slogans, putting up posters, demanding it for years now. So, it's actually been really energizing for the Congress itself. Largely, I think it has generated huge enthusiasm amongst Congress workers. They are really excited at the prospect of their dream finally coming true of having Priyanka there in charge in UP. And it has certainly become a huge talking point. As you yourself said, reams of analysis have been done. I think the media is as excited about this new twist to the 2019 campaign as Congress party workers. And as you can judge from the reaction of the BJP, they were so quick off the mark to criticize the move. They've been frothing at the mouth. Even Lok Sabha Speaker Sumitra Mahajan has passed a comment on how this shows Rahul Gandhi's failure as Congress president, that he has to seek the help of his sister. So, there is a huge buzz about Priyanka. And I think this buzz is only going to increase as we get into the campaign, because she is now going to be very active all over Eastern UP, very visible. She's starting off with a bang. She joins on the 1st of Feb. And I think in the first 15 days, she's going to address a joint press conference with her brother. She's going to address a rally, in Eastern UP. So, and I think, media attention is definitely going to be on her. She is going to be the big talking point in these elections.
Because you talked about the BJP, I'm going to go to Mr. Taneja next. And out of all the responses which came out from the BJP, Mr. Taneja, this is the one I didn't quite understand. It's natural for the BJP to scoff at Priyanka Gandhi Vadra's entry and say, what's the big deal? But this twist to it, that it shows the weakness of her brother that she's come in. I don't quite understand this. Is it weakness because he's got his sister on? What really was the meaning of that?
Well, it depends how you look at it. I mean, close to the parliamentary elections, they decided to induct, Mrs. Priyanka Vadra. She had been involved in politics for very, very long time. I mean, what they've done is now formalize it. And at the same time, given her the responsibility of eastern part of Uttar Pradesh. And evidently, this kind of is an acknowledgement that Mr. Rahul Gandhi, as the president of the party, as the main leader of the party, has failed and failed miserably. That's why they have to bring in, Mrs. Priyanka Vadra. Now the question is that's our view, you see. But the question is that when you look at the ground realities in Uttar Pradesh, that's not how it works in Uttar Pradesh. Look at Samajwadi Party. They have a strong cadre of their own. BSP, very, very strong cadre. Bharatiya Janata Party, very, very strong cadre. And Congress also till the end of 1970s used to be a cadre-based party. But then the first family of the Congress decided to actually demolish the cadre, and it became, and convert Congress party into a family-owned enterprise. So now, since they don't have a base there, they don't have an organization on the ground, they don't forget about there is no cadre, of course. Now the question is that, at the same time you're going, and then you're saying that next chief minister in 2022 is going to be from the Congress party. But first you have to build the party on the ground. You bring in, Mrs. Vadra, but Mrs. Vadra alone can't really help. Can she build cadre in 60 days? Can you build the organization in 60 days? You can't. So therefore there is no change. There is no. It doesn't make any difference.
So why all the responses then?
Particularly when it comes to Uttar Pradesh.
Mr. Taneja, just one more point, because Arati Jerath made a very interesting point. If you're saying that in your view she's going to make no difference, there's no cadre, you can't come in the last minute and hope to make a difference, then why all the responses? Why the slew of top BJP leaders, wanting to respond? The Lok Sabha speaker responding in this sense, which is a different story altogether, because she is in a position which at this point she needs to be above politics. That betrays a sense of nervousness.
No, not at all. No, on the contrary. Look, at the same time, you can't ignore the fact that Mrs. Vadra comes from a very important political family, and the Congress is nothing but the family. So therefore, when the family member, Mrs. Vadra, joins politics actively, formally, of course, it creates buzz. What's new about it? At the regional level, it will happen if someone comes from the Yadav family or from this family and that family. So it's more because they have been more kind of visible on the national front. So this is it's nothing more. This will not last more than 4 or 5 days. So this is very usual. Just wait for 3 or 4 days. Of course, wherever she travels and all that, if she makes something, attacks this party, that party, and if she outshines her brother, there's going to be news, of course. But then all that remains to be seen. But we really, this is the fact that we noted and we have noticed it, reacted to it, and we are even participating in your show, clearly shows, yes, she is there. It's fine. We love good fights. If they are able to give us good fight, Uttar Pradesh will love it. But we know that they can't do it because they have nothing. They own no organization. Uttar Pradesh in particular, without organization, you can't do anything. And
okay.
UP will, Mrs. Vadra will need 20 years to build the party on the ground there. She will need 20 years minimum.
Yeah, she has been campaigning, and I think the advantage, let me get Amitabh Tiwari into this. I think the advantage that Priyanka Gandhi Vadra comes in with is, of course, that she is a Gandhi family member. It's not like nobody knows her. But, I have another way of looking at this, and tell me what you think. While it was the Mahagathbandhan and the BJP and Congress seeming to perhaps give tacit support to the Mahagathbandhan, they looked stronger. A Congress which is going all guns blazing with Priyanka Gandhi in the mix, do you think in a sense they end up weakening the Mayawati-Akhilesh combination as well and handing some kind of a relief to the BJP? The BJP should actually be thanking Rahul Gandhi today?
Of course, the Mahagathbandhan has now gone for a toss. So there is no pan-India level Mahagathbandhan being formed. Because after the Priyanka Gandhi announcement, there were announcements for Andhra, Telangana and West Bengal as well. So in a way, yeah, it is good news for BJP because it splits the anti-BJP vote. See, what has happened is that Congress is a national party. The way Mayawati attacked Congress in the press conference when she, along with Akhilesh Yadav, announced the Mahagathbandhan, it was equally, it was almost equal in the same proportion. So Congress, being a national party, has not taken it lightly, and it has at least significant presence in 10 to 15 seats, more so in the urban areas where it even did well in Modi wave, and it finished second in 6 seats ahead of Samajwadi Party and Bahujan Samaj Party. So what Congress is essentially saying is that it is not only the responsibility of Congress to defeat the BJP. Other parties have also to come on board, and since they have not come on board and they have announced alliances excluding Congress, Congress will go all out and fight the contest, win the number of seats, and then post elections it will review the situation based on the actual results. Because it's a national party, see, you have to see that these regional parties have grown at the expense of Congress. Trinamool Congress is a splinter group of Congress. TDP and Congress have been at loggerheads with each other for long. SP and BSP have weaned away the entire traditional vote block of Dalits and Muslims of Congress. So it is also a long-term strategy in that sense, because piggybacking or allying with them in any form may not have helped Congress actually revive.
Yeah, that's interesting. But was this the time for a long-term strategy when the Congress is, you know, with its back to the wall? I just want to get Radhika Khera in. She is the Congress spokesperson joining us on the phone line. Radhika, welcome to the discussion. I hope you managed to hear some of it. But my question to you really is that what is the Congress strategy in Uttar Pradesh? Priyanka Gandhi Vadra coming in as General Secretary of Eastern UP, what is the kind of impact you hope for her to have? And does it, in a sense, not strengthen the BJP, turning the fight for UP into a three-cornered fight?
See, if the BJP was actually strengthened, they would not be so rattled the way they are. The way the leaders have come out, from the Prime Minister coming out and making comments on the Namo app, where he doesn't actually come out and say anything when he has to talk about farmers or any other issues, that burning issues that are of concern for the nation. But yes, for this, he came out and gave a bite on Namo app regarding this. Then leaders are going out, all guns blazing, whether it is on social media or on TV videos, and they're saying, oh, we don't care. She will not be able to do anything. If you don't care and she is not capable of doing anything, why are you so rattled? And the fact is that they know in 4.5 years they have actually saved the country.
Because specifically on what is the Congress's assessment of what she will be able to do? Do you have a clear answer to that?
Absolutely. She has been working in Uttar Pradesh. She has been working since 1999, whether it was in Rai Bareilly, it was in Amethi, and she has been also working at different levels in the organization. Maybe not right in the front, but at the back, she has been working well, and she has been working to strengthen the organization at every level. So since she has been working for so long in areas of Uttar Pradesh, she has been in charge of UP. And absolutely she is going to make a difference, and every Karyakarta of the Congress is going to make a difference. Every leader is going to make a difference. Okay. I don't understand.
Okay, I just want to get Arati in on this point, and also the point that Amitabh Tiwari made. Priyanka added to the Congress kitty strengthens them. If that's where we're going for, you see that the Congress is fighting this aggressively. They're not willing to leave the Uttar Pradesh fight per se to Mayawati and Akhilesh. Does that hand some sort of an advantage to the BJP, or even in this situation, the BJP then is at a disadvantage? Because you're seeing the slew of surveys that have emerged in the last couple of days, and it is not good news for the BJP or Narendra Modi.
You know, I think we have to wait and see, you know, when Priyanka sort of starts campaigning in Eastern UP, to see how the Priyanka factor plays out. Firstly, she's only in charge of half of UP. The other half of UP, Western UP, which has been given to Jyotiraditya Scindia, who, you know, is himself a charismatic leader, but clearly doesn't have the same star power as a Priyanka Vadra does. But Western UP is really where the alliance is very strong. I mean, those are areas which are BSP strongholds, those are areas which are SP strongholds, and the two parties combine well along with the RLD, and they are going to give the BJP a very, very tough fight in Western UP. The eastern part of UP is actually an area where the BSP and SP are not that powerful. In fact, the central part of UP, you know, the Lucknow area, Kanpur, Unnao, you know, all those areas, the BSP is actually quite weak over there. The BSP won in 2007 largely because the Brahmins came out in support of Mayawati, And they are the ones who created that wave, that opinion, and influenced votes in favor of the BSP. But the BSP by itself, because the Jatav population is not very strong in that area. So the BSP by itself is not very strong. In fact, as we go eastwards in UP, it is the upper caste population that increases. Brahmins are a very influential community there. And I think the idea of putting Priyanka in charge of Eastern UP is that she will reach out to the Brahmins and she will try to, recreate that old Brahmin, non-Jatav, Dalit, Muslim alliance that benefited the Congress in 2009. And I think that is really the aim. Now, that is obviously going to affect the BJP and it may affect the BSP, SP as well. But I would say that, look, I think the battle lines in UP are not firmly drawn yet. I think there are a lot of things that are going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if there are some kind of, some kind of an understanding emerges between the Congress and the BSP SP, because certainly the entry of Priyanka does put pressure on the BSP SP to somehow accommodate the Congress and, so that the anti-BJP votes don't get split, particularly the Muslim vote. That is really, really critical, that the Muslim vote should not get split. So I think that we have, the story is not over in UP. I think things are still to happen. Remember, the dates have not been announced yet.
Candidates,
so
we don't know who the candidates are.
Towards the end of March. That's right, we don't know how the candidates are. We don't even know today which seats the BSP is going to fight and which seats CSP is going to fight. That has yet to be announced. So I would say that let's hold our horses. Let's see, what happens. Things have yet to unfold in UP. Only then we can make an assessment really of whether Priyanka, brings added value, whether she, actually helps the BJP by cutting into anti-BJP votes, or whether she strengthens the SP-BSP alliance through some kind of tacit understanding, and thereby, proves to be a threat to the BJP.
No, and there is also some speculation that she may fight from Rai Bareli herself, and what difference that would make. What we do know, though, and I want to come to Mr. Taneja on this, is that the theme of Robert Vadra and the alleged corruption charges against him was a dominant one in the run-up to the 2014 elections. The damag, the corrupt son-in-law, was a big part of the BJP's theme. Over the years, it has been propped up again and again. But also another question on Priyanka Gandhi's timing. Now, after 4.5 years, if the BJP and the government says that, look, Robert Vadra is corrupt, they're going to turn around and say, why did you do nothing about it? Does that, in a sense, also put you on the back foot? Today, you hardly hear anyone from the BJP, yourself including, talking about Robert Vadra. It used to be a pet theme at some point.
No, I think the point here is that, as a political party, the fact that Mr. Robert Vadra, who was just a small-time businessman, to be a billionaire, the question is that, how did it happen? Why didn't it happen to you or to a number of other people, to a lot of millions and millions of the small businessmen? The fact is there seems to be something wrong. And there are, some cases, which are being investigated by the independent agencies, autonomous agencies. They have nothing to do with the BJP. BJP has nothing to do with them. And there the law is going to take on course. It doesn't matter who is in power, whether it's BJP, Congress, or some third front or 19th front or whatever. So there are cases, and the matter is in the court. And let the law take its own course. But the fact, the general perception is that Mr. Robert Vadra is corrupt. That's a perception. And that's also the matter is in the court. But we have yet to know what is the kind of final verdict on the issue. Maybe what the people think is correct. So, but we have to wait for that. But the fact remains that that's the perception across the country, including in political circles and media, and that's what people keep talking about. Now, the point here is that Mrs. Vadra now being actively involved in politics, that is the real thing. And as far as Uttar Pradesh, as I said, I suspect, my personal view is, I suspect that probably, this sudden decision to bring in Mrs. Vadra is probably some more to do with the fact that Mayawati ji was just saying no way that I'm going to have any kind of deal with the Congress party. Is probably to put pressure on Samajwadi Party and Bahujan Samaj Party to put pressure on them to accommodate the Congress Party. That seems, I suspect that probably is the case. I was brought up in the heartland of Uttar Pradesh, and I know a lot about BSP and Sapa politics, SP politics. So we don't know. I'm not saying that's my view.
Yeah.
But let's see what finally happens. But one thing is very clear that, you know, as far as Uttar Pradesh is concerned, if those who have rushed to the conclusion just because Rahul ji has inducted now his sister, the landscape has changed completely. Know nothing about politics on the ground in Uttar Pradesh. Nothing has changed. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Mrs. Vadra would need 20 years, as I said earlier, to rebuild the party, because the party just does not exist. In Uttar Pradesh, just by bringing in Priyanka ji and Priyanka Vadra, you think landscape has changed overnight? That's not how the political UP function.
Okay.
Those who believe that's how it functions, though they know, I'm sorry, but they know nothing about it.
I want to get Radhika Khera in on a couple of questions. One part on whether Priyanka is expected to play a role in building some kind of an understanding with the SP, BSP, Mahagathbandhan. Was there an announcement, a reaction to this? And also a point earlier, does Priyanka Gandhi Vadra's entry into politics effectively end the whole Mahagathbandhan idea on a pan-India level? Because since then we've seen the Congress decide that it will go it alone in Andhra Pradesh. There are reports that it will go it alone in West Bengal as well. So what is the game plan here, Radhika?
See, as the election will approach, things will get more clear, and there is going to be a Gathbandhan, like Rahul ji has said time and again. All like-minded parties who want to work for the development of the nation will come together to stop the Modi government, which has destroyed the nation in 4.5 years. And let's come back to the topic of Priyanka Gandhi ji. I was hearing what the BJP spokesperson was saying. So you're a very learned man, and you also know yourself in your heart that you guys have, that the BJP has completely failed, whether they've been crying horse about Robert Vadra ji, this, that, and you have not been able to prove anything. And people have seen through that. People have seen how you made a fool out of them for 4.5 years. And now Priyanka ji is come. It's not only in UP that she's going to work. She has been made the All India General Secretary. She will be working all over India, and specifically also in UP, and she will be concentrating on that area. Now, when it comes to the Gathbandhan, there is nothing that she will be striking a deal with Mayawati ji or Akhilesh Yadav ji. What is happening in UP is for everyone to see. They have gone the Gathbandhan separately. The Congress is not a part of the Gathbandhan, and we will be fighting alone. That is what the Congress has said categorically after the Gathbandhan was done between Akhilesh ji and Mayawati ji, that we will be fighting on all seats separately. So there is no question of being, there will be an understanding or no understanding. We will be fighting all our seats, and we will definitely be fighting to win, and there will be a change. You will see a massive change in Uttar Pradesh, where we will hope to win the maximum number of seats. Congress will emerge as the #1 party in Uttar Pradesh. And there is nothing like there is no Sangathan in Uttar Pradesh. You forget that before, in the previous Lok Sabha elections, the number of seats the Congress party had. It's not that we did not exist in Uttar Pradesh. We were not there during the Vidhan Sabha, but we were there. Our maximum MPs came.
You got 2 seats, ma'am, in 2014. Are you?
About 2014 and 2014, we got seats not all over the country. BJP is the same party which only had 2 seats all over the country.
Yes.
So
I want to focus back. So there were 2 seats in 2014, but 2009 the Congress was in double digits. There were 21 seats there. They're possibly hoping to revive that. I want to come back to the focus on Priyanka Gandhi Vadra's entry into politics and whether it's a big deal or not. We've asked all of you this question. Do you think it's going to be a game changer, or is it too much hype? Amitabh, I'm going to ask you to answer that question, and after that, just a small comment on the Robert Vadra factor. My sense is that it's done. At this late stage, any action that an investigative agency takes or even the BJP takes on Robert Vadra could backfire. If they had to do something, it should have been done before.
Yeah, so corruption and black money will not be the forefront issues in these elections. I mean, people will ask if Robert Vadra was corrupt, then what was his government doing for 5 years? Even if they got a brutal majority of 282 seats, and even if in that situation they could not do anything to Robert Vadra, which means that it was more a jumla or he's not corrupt. So corruption will not be a major, and black money will not be a major issue, in my opinion, in these elections. Regarding Priyanka Vadra, whether she will be a game changer or she succeeds or not, what we have to also understand is that whether a party succeeds or not depends upon the motivation level of the cadre as well. And this definitely increases or improves the motivation level of the cadre after the win in the 3 Hindi heartland states. So at least the cadre, which was very demoralized in 2014 after attack from Modi and corruption and 2G, CWG, this, that, now the cadre of the party is motivated and sees that they have hope in 2019 elections.
Arati, just last word from you on whether Robert Vadra and that whole corruption charge is a thing of the past as far as these elections are concerned. And is Priyanka Gandhi Vadra's entry to politics much beyond 2019 and these general elections, which is why the focus to build from scratch even a base in Uttar Pradesh?
As far as the Robert Vadra issue is concerned, I mean, I agree with what you said, that I think it's really dead and over. I mean, if the government had to do something, they should have done it in the last 4.5 years. Now there's no time. They can't do something on the eve of elections, and certainly Priyanka will use it to, whip up a sort of sympathy for herself and her family, that, they're after my husband and, just because I've entered politics and so on and so forth. So I think that's really not an issue anymore. As far as the Priyanka Gandhi Vadra factor goes, look, I mean, the fact is that there is a buzz. And, it's not a 3-day thing, as the BJP spokesperson said. It's been going on now for some days, and it's going to just grow because she is going to be active, she is going to be visible, and she is a very television-friendly face. She is a good speaker. She's very good with repartee and one-liners. I mean, she is going to hog the headlines all through. There is no question about that. And I mean, already, people have, you remember after Mamata Banerjee's rally in Kolkata, we were talking about Mamata Banerjee, the impressive show, how she could be the prime ministerial aspirant for 2019 and so on and so forth. But suddenly all that has faded away. Now everybody's only talking about Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, and that can only grow. Now, to what extent that yields the Congress electoral benefits, I don't know. That has to be tested. It is true what the BJP spokesperson said about the lack of an organization. But let me tell you, in 2014, when the BJP swept 71 seats in UP, that came as a shock to everybody. The BJP's organization there was also quite defunct. The BJP had not been winning more than 10 Lok Sabha seats in successive elections. It didn't have a vote percentage of more than 18%. And that suddenly zoomed to almost 50% overnight because of the very impressive campaign that Narendra Modi carried out across UP.
Yeah.
So, the dynamics of every election are impossible to predict. We don't know how people react to situations as they unfold. And that's why Indian elections are so fascinating and so interesting. And we should really not sit here and judge today what is likely to happen in UP.
No, that's true. That's true. It's difficult to predict. Mr. Taneja and Amitabh Tiwari both had a response. I'm going to go for a quick response from Mr. Taneja first. Yes.
Yeah, just very quickly, my esteemed panelist said that BJP in 2014 didn't have organization on the ground. I'm sorry, even the Congress won't agree with you. Nobody will agree with you. We always had a very, very strong, in 2014, we have probably the best oil machine on the ground. Yes, there was a very strong campaign and there was a kind of anti-UPA 2 things and all. That's true. But at the same time, we won because we had a very, very strong, organization on the ground in Uttar Pradesh, in every single booth. That's how we won in 2014 and that's how we won 2017. Bharatiya Janata Party means organization. Bharatiya Janata Party means Karyakarta. And that's how we win.
I think her point was more about the impact of the Modi wave and how sometimes a broader issue supersedes other factors. Amitabh, quick response from you.
Yes, sir. What I want to add is that what it does is that it makes the elections national versus regional. While SP, BSP will attempt to make the elections regional through their Mahagathbandhan, Priyanka's entry and BJP's, of course, Glitz campaign will make the election national. And if you see historically, whenever the elections have been national or contested on national issues in UP, the national parties together have done well and not the regional parties there.
All right.
Except for as we've seen in 2004 and 9.
All right, it's a little doubt. I think everyone will agree that this latest entrant to the electoral fray has definitely made things more exciting. How much it works or not is something none of us can really predict. Thank you so much to all of you for joining us on this discussion today. The fight for Uttar Pradesh and, of course, for New Delhi in 2019 just got that much trickier.